Hi, welcome to Valerie's film review slash analysis slash mindless babbling. So what will we be doing today? Well, we are going to be discussing the short film A Folded Wish. Be prepared, it's very sad. A short film is usually like about 3 minutes to 20 minutes long. Good short films usually have like specific themes and messages that they want to impart to their audiences. They have to cram in all like a whole plot with characters that you would care about in just like a few minutes. It's just a short story instead of like a full-blown movie, so you can't really add too much element, so you have to be witty with your usage of the elements of cinema. So what is A Folded Wish? Well, thank you for asking. A Folded Wish is a drama slash tragedy, and it's about two sisters who are sick, coughing, and then blood comes out type of sick. They fold a bunch of paper cranes in order to pass the time and also to hope for their safe recovery, because in Japanese myths, there's like a myth where you fold 1,000 cranes and you can trade it in for a wish. So guess what their wish is? Spoiler alert, we'll get to that later. Typically in short films, you'll either have a film that is set in one time period only, like for one long instance, so no passage of time, or a short film that would pass the time but through different means, like montages or the changes of the season. And this is exactly what The Folded Wish does. In order to show the audience that the two sisters have been suffering for so long, they show the passage of time through the cranes, the paper cranes that they make. So whenever they make these paper cranes, they hang it onto their ceiling. So they have these transitions where the paper crane ceiling ornaments just like fade into the same shot to show how much days have passed, and they're suffering in all those days. Oh my god. This sort of showing isn't explicit because they're not outwardly telling you, yo, a month has passed. No, they're just subtlety. Yes. And then once you realize that they're still making paper cranes, you kind of feel the sentimental value of it, you know? These sisters put so much time and effort into making these cranes in hopes that they're okay. So when the film does this very smooth transition from jolly to disastrous, it really hurts you in the heart. It's like you're just coughing, and then they pan you, and the next thing you know, the sister has blood on her hands, and then she's like, and then she starts dying. The very plot of A Folded Wish is like hooked on foreshadowing and plot twisting. And usually short stories would have like plot twists in the middle just to spice things up a bit. As I said, there were two sisters, they were folding cranes, and then one of them starts coughing. You think it's the younger one who's sick, and you see the grandmother feeding her medicine, so you're like, oh no, the younger sister's gonna die. But then the older one starts coughing and the blood comes out, the smooth transition, and ba-bam, they're dead. They try to foreshadow that the younger sister will die, but then apparently it's the older sister that dies first because both of them are sick. And they do this whole plot in the most painful way ever. The crane, the very act of folding the crane is a symbol of the sisters' hope. They're sick. If they fold the cranes, they can get a wish, and maybe they can wish for themselves to be better. But no, the crane breaks. This is during the time when the older sister is like coughing very loudly, paired with like this dramatic, very fast-paced music. The younger one's like trying to desperately fold a paper crane, but then in her haste, and then the crane is dead, and then the sister is dead. So like the moment the symbolism for their hope dies, the sister dies. And then we are shown that the older sister actually was able to make the 1,000th crane. And she like laid it there beside her younger sister like, hey, I made it, but I'm dead, bye. I did this for you though. And written on the crane were the words, always together. But then the older sister's dead. How would they be together, huh? I must say though, the end credits were kind of amazing. So obviously in short films, you need to have the opening card, your body, which is the film itself, and then the end credits, so I credit everyone who worked on the film. But in A Folded Wish, the end credits were like, they pretended it was an album, and then they added pictures of the girls' lives to sort of give you more of like a backstory of what happened prior to that incident. They showed us like pictures of them with their dad, how their dad left them, possibly because of the war, the World War II. So they had to stay with their grandmother, and that's how they like, you know, got the disease after the bombs fell. And yeah, it was painful. It made these sympathetic characters even more sympathetic than they already are, and it just makes you hurt more. And I say this was like rubbing salt to the wound. You just saw both those girls die. Did I mention that? Yes. The other sister also died. They ended with 2 cranes sitting side by side on like the banister of their house with the wind chime tinkling. And on the crane is like the words again, always together. So if you just use your creative mind and think about it, the always together part, their wish came true. They're always together in heaven. So overall, A Folded Wish as a short film, they were able to cram everything they wanted to say within 7 minutes. And that's very effective because within 7 minutes you got to know these 2 characters, felt their fun, felt them die, mourned for them, and then you realize like the tragedy of what the film is trying to say, and you cried. I cried a bit. I cried 4 tears. So the tragedy genre, like they managed to really construct a whole film that's very sad, very meaningful, and culturally relevant. So good job. Woo. See you next time Teacher Cat gives us a vlog assignment. Woo!